Trying to Find a Balance was another song that I always enjoyed and thought was interesting, because on that one, how you're talking about to achieve your goals, you have to take chances and to do these different things. And I always like songs that make me think or make me reinforces things that I say to myself or I believe or I know to be true. So what was going on in your life, or had you learned that made you understand and made you want to put that out there? Because that seemed to be part of this evolution of you taking this different turn lyrically.
To me, it's funny that you articulate it like that, because to me, again, that was at the height of my I was like the most self-aware rapper in the world, but I was also one of the least self-aware humans that you could have ever met. And so when I think of Trying to Find a Balance specifically, but also the group of, like, let's say 5 to 8 songs that were written around that same time, I look at them all and go, my God, they're all fucking bumper stickers. The whole fucking song is just me making bumper stickers rhyme. To achieve your goals, you have to take that chance. That's a fucking bumper sticker. You know what I'm saying? It is. So let's pry open the trunk and get these amps. There's the rhyme. You know what I mean? It's like, so I'll say a bumper sticker and then I'll come up with a rhyme for it. And I know I was not thinking like, what are the bumper stickers I could write? More so, I think what I was doing was I was talking to myself, and I talk in bumper stickers. I've had more than one person point that out. I mean, if you watch this conversation we're having right now, I guarantee you're going to be able to point out like 5 different things that you're like, that should be a fucking t-shirt. That's how corny it is. I say a lot of corny shit. It's like dad jokes without the joke. You know what I mean? It's like just dad statements or something. And Trying to Find a Balance, though, was just that. That's why I got that name. That's why I got that hook. In the days of kings and queens, I was a jester. Bro, that's Beck. He said, in the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey. And I said, in the days of kings and queens, I was a jester. How you gonna steal from Beck? The fuck is that? But you know, that was me, man. I was stealing from everybody because I was just like, oh man, there's just so much out here, so many great ideas. I have great ideas, and I was high AF, and I was writing all these ideas down and crushing them and squishing them together with other ideas. And so I got that song, National Disgrace, Always Coming Back Home to You, Shoes, and there was probably one more at least. Reflections. Those 5 songs are Seven's Travels, if we want to get real. Everything else on Seven's Travels, almost everything else, there might be a couple more that I'm not remembering, and Anthony would probably be better at talking about this. But we'll say 5 or 6 songs was Seven's Travels. Everything else on that album was leftovers from God Loves Ugly. And it's funny that people will like bring up Seven's Travels in a way to say, hey, this is the one where I heard of you, or this is the Cats Fan Bags. That was another one that was actually Seven's Travels, not God Loves Ugly. But if you listen to it, you could see it. You could even hear it. There's an aesthetic to the songs I just named that is not in the other songs. The other songs are a little bit more lo-fi. And if you play those other songs next to God Loves Ugly, you'll hear, oh, they're lo-fi like that. And the truth is, it's an ADAT. We recorded God Loves Ugly on a set of ADATs, as well as all these extra songs. When we went to do Seven's Travels, we discovered Pro Tools. So you can even hear in those songs I named, in the production and in the vocal quality, that we had more room to do more things. And the reason that record became Seven's Travels was because after God Loves Ugly came out, like immediately after it came out, Epitaph was like, yo, we want to do a record with you. We would like to license one. At first they wanted to do a deal, and we were like, we can't do a deal because we got Rhymesayers. But what else can we do creatively? You know, a lot of labels were coming at us. I don't want to say no names, but all the majors and the people who were running them at the time, I was getting meetings with like the big names, like you own the label, you run the label, you're the president of the label, like all you guys. And I said no to all of them because they all scared the shit out of me. Again, left money on the table. But Epitaph was like, hey, we'll just license the record. And we were like, hey, that's creative. And they're like, how soon can you have it to us? And I'm like, well, shit, I have an album in the can. If I were to go through everything that didn't make God Loves Ugly, I got more than enough for a full album. So I went through it and was like, let's keep this, let's keep this and this, and then let's add a couple of new songs. And we added and gave it to him. And that's how we got a record to come out like less than a year later. Like God Loves Ugly came out, and then Seven's Travels was like, or maybe almost exactly a year later on Epitaph. But I was on tour that whole year. How the fuck I make an album in that year? You know what I mean? It was like I was touring God Loves Ugly, and then all of a sudden Seven's Travels came out, and I just stayed on the road and kept touring. It was like one long ass tour for me and Dibs, with an album to come out during the tour, basically. And so in a weird way, I feel almost guilty about Seven's Travels, because I feel like I didn't go and create the album that could have been. Because when I look at those 5, 6, 7 songs and the depth of them compared to the rest of the album, like Got a Lot of Walls is what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? The song Lifter Puller is okay, but that was a God Loves Ugly throwaway. That was one of the better ones. You know what I'm saying? But fucking Suicide Girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, these songs were like if I had taken my time to make Seven's Travels, what that album really could have been, that really could have been like the fucking breakout album of all indie rap breakout albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I just was like, oh, let's just keep it moving, which I don't regret it, because that's what got me to where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Which is maybe not as far as I could have been, or maybe further than I could have been. There's no way to know, but I
never know.
I like where I'm at. So I'm not complaining. I'm scared like everybody, financially insecure. And, I got too many kids, and I constantly feel like I got to poop. Yo, Money B said poop. He said that on that Digital Underground Sex Packets record. I realize that's not what we're talking about right now, but I just wanted to point that out. He rhymed poop. He said poop.
Yes, but also with Always Coming Back to You, you shouted out Mobb Deep by referencing them. So thank you for that.
Again, that was the music that made me do that. If you listen to the way the drums are set up at the front, it's fucking very similar to Shook One's Part 2. Yeah. Prodigy is one of my favorite rappers. And rest in peace. Unfortunately, he passed away. And now it's weird telling people that he's one of my favorite rappers, because it's always the dead rappers that are your favorites. You know what I'm saying? But I've been trying to convince everybody for years that Prodigy was better than all them other dudes that they would put over him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude invented depression rap. Nowadays you call it what you want. People call it coke rap. People call it like whatever. They got different names for it. But to me, if you trace back to where this kind of rap comes from, it's one part nihilistic, and it's one part fucking self looking at yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
anthropic. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that dude, him and Scarface, are the two that pretty much invented that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to think that somebody like me benefits from that invention, but I did take it and make my own version. But then it's also crazy to me to think that the seeds that grew that tree got me on a branch, but also got like Griselda on a branch. It's like we're all connected through Prodigy. You feel me? Like I feel like I can't say that about Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z, but I can't say that his tree grew so many branches that you got completely different type rappers all kind of part of that same tree.
Well, I think my initial gut reaction to that is a lot, not all, of course, because some of his music did it, especially Reasonable Doubt and maybe the 444, which is ironic, beginning and the end. But most of his doesn't really deal with emotion. Most of his music is not emotionally driven, I would argue.
I see that, but I also raise it and say it's an emotion, but it's just not an emotion that a lot of us get to play with often. Like, Jay-Z's emotion is confidence. His emotion is, actually being on top of the world. Like, even before he was on top of the world, he acted like he was on top of the world. he rapped like he was better than the listener. I'm better than you. And Prodigy didn't do that. Prodigy was right there with you. He was right next to you. He wasn't better than you. He was a more evolved version of you because he was actually aware and in touch with the parts of him that were not tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that's the thing that for me puts him above a lot of people, is that he was able to actually rap in a way that made you feel familiar or you could relate to, but then look at all the different types of people that he touched with that, as opposed to like the whole, like the thing with Jay is I think everybody's just like, we're all in awe of how good he fucking raps. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's just like, he's an amazing fucking rapper, just like Drake. Every time that dude releases something, I'm kind of in awe of how just good he sounds. Like, yeah, damn it, you sound good again. Like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things where it's like, but that's a different thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Prodigy was like, he didn't always sound good, man. He had records where it's like, is that him? He sounds like shit. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't matter because the shit he was saying was what was so important about Prodigy. How did I turn this into this conversation? Bro, I'm sorry, man. I tried to warn you, dude. I will talk about anything, man. I just fucking talk. And it's, I'm still socially distant, so I don't really get to talk to a lot of people. So this is like,
well,
I'm just letting it out on you right now, bro. Like, I pulled out the good mic. I'm the good mic for this.
Yes, and thank you for that. One conceptual song, one of the many that I would want to ask you about, but Who I'll Never Be, I thought was always so interesting about a dude listening to the music his neighbor or apartment mate or whatever was listening to. What in the world made you think of that as something to explore in a song?
My wife writes songs, and I would listen to her songs and listen to the characters. And this is before she was my wife even, but also as my wife. But I was listening to the characters and I was like, man, like, who are you singing about? Because that's not me. I can't be the person that you're singing about. Like, I could never not only live up to that or live down to that, or, and it made me think about much of the stuff that I'd written in the last 20 years. I mean, at that point, that was 2010. So we'll just take it back 10 years from that. But it made me wonder about like how often one of my partners or friends or who thought, is that about me? When they heard my shit, and then be like, it can't be about me because I'm not that. Am I that? And I guess the song itself, it was I didn't intend for it to be a neighbor, even though that's it. But it's like you're eavesdropping and listening to somebody sing this, and you're moved by how far fucking removed you are from that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know how else to tell that story without that song. You know what I mean? Like, that was the only way I would ever be able to like even explain the concept of what occurred when I would listen to my wife's songs. You know what I'm saying? So that's like it's like I went far left with it, but that's the basis for the song, was just listening to her music and her songs and being like, man, that's not about me. Who's that about? On one hand, you're like, who are you singing about? What is that? But on the other hand, you're like, is that me? Is that me? You know what I mean? It's and so that's, and that in the turnaround again, I go back to that. Like, I wonder who ever heard my shit and was forced to deal with that. Like, he better be singing about me, but that better not be me that he's fucking singing about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yeah. It's a song somebody else should have written before me. I should not have been the person to come up with that idea. That should have been a fucking Willie Nelson song. You know what I'm saying? That should have been a Johnny Cash or a Neil Young. Or why am I saying names of great songwriters? Like, am I trying to imply that I wrote one of those songs that one of them should have written? No. So let me just take all that back. All I'm trying to say is the concept, that idea. I'm surprised I'd never heard that before. And maybe it is out there. Maybe it exists, but I had never heard that one before. So that's one of the ones that I'm more proud of, I guess, in a way. I should go re-listen to it and see if there's anything there to explore as far as for the live show, because I haven't heard that one in a long time, and it is one of the ones that I'm proud of. One of the fucking few that I'm proud of.
No, I love Who I'll Never Be. I think it's a incredible song. And speaking of live shows, since Atmosphere has built and Rhymesayers has built so much on the live show and the touring and being out, knock on wood, we're about to get out of COVID and a pandemic, but how have you found that you've had to adjust as an artist, as a businessman, as a person?
I mean, you know, I'm this close to like fucking pulling a hose and a bucket out back and washing cars. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to get back to work soon or else I'm going to have to sell my kids. I don't fucking know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I hope to get back to work soon. I miss the road, but I'll be honest, man, spending this last year at home doing the distance learning pod with my children and just spending more time with my children. There's a part of me that doesn't ever want to tour again. And, you know, I would knock on wood right now if I didn't really mean what I just said. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a part of me that's just like, fuck, I could figure this out. I'll figure out a different way to make money. You know, I start a podcast. I mean, you make it look easy. I'm sure it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But I'll figure something out. I like to talk a lot and I like to drive. So between those two things, I think I could find a job. And if I could find one job that does both, talking while driving, that would be my dream job. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be my dream job. So yeah, I'm open-minded, man. I'm open-minded.
Well, there it is. All right. Well, thank you for coming through to Unique Access Entertainment, Slug. I really appreciate your time and look forward to having you back.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, Soren. Have a great night, bro. Yeah, listen. Do you hear that? It's quiet. There's nothing there. The kids have been super quiet.
Congratulations.
No, I don't think that's a good thing. I think they're fucking getting into some shit.
Oh, well.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go upstairs and regulate. Go up there and find a box of cereal all over the floor or some shit.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Yo, you're the man. Thanks for having me.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the DOC, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.